Cam Radio, it's your boy Tony G, Big Lou, the sports book every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Want to thank everyone for tuning in. Lots to talk about, lots of trade. You got the NBA, you got the NBA draft. Basically tonight when this show was on, the draft will be going on. So that will be cool. And we got, let me see, let me pull that up from here and see what we can see what's coming up. Now, you see, so Giannis deal hasn't happened yet, but they're saying that it should be done. And there's a couple people involved.
Mm-hmm.
You got Boston. You got Miami.
Yeah, you got the Heat. Yeah, they're also in play too.
So they got Boston. You know, and people were asking, and then you got San Antonio trying to make some moves.
Yeah.
Maybe get a little bit of an experienced player. Where you thinking Giannis is going to end up?
I think Giannis is going to end up in Boston. I think he's going to end up in Boston with Jason Tatum because Boston have more key players to move around. Miami has a ceiling that they're not going to go over.
Correct.
And then if they bring in a third team, the third team can benefit from draft picks and probably Jaylen Brown. I think that's how that's gonna go to get Giannis there. They're gonna give up Jaylen Brown and probably some couple of bench players from draft picks. And Jaylen Brown goes to the third party team and they'll get some draft picks to make some stuff move around to where Giannis can get there. I think that's probably the best bet for him in the East where it's easier. And in New York, you'll have a nucleus of a team around you where you can play the type of basketball you want to play because Giannis want to play downhill to the rim too.
How much of a benefit does that give Boston? What are they getting? You know, I mean, like, how does this change the dynamic of Boston? Were they lacking? I mean, were they missing? I mean, they just come off a championship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to put it all together. Like how? I mean, obviously,
I'm thinking Giannis will be that big that they need underneath.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's a little younger, and and also he can he likes to go inside, he likes to attack the rim, so they can really transition well. But but that's just the East. I don't think he want to go West. There's too many people you got to go against. Not only is it Wemby and it's Chet at OKC, you still got to deal with Jokic over there. You still got to deal with Rudy Gobert over there, and Ant-Man and the Timberwolves. It's a lot harder to get out of the West, so I don't think they want any part of that. I think he wants to stay in the East, um, and I think he wants to go. I think Boston is the destination. I think.
Yeah, and Miami's offering Tyler Hero,
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Jacques Jr. and Kaylee Ware and draft picks. So they're offering 3 players plus draft picks. So the question is what happens to Milwaukee? They just fall off.
They start over.
Start over.
They start over with mediocre talent and draft picks, and they try to use those picks to get better players. They already know no one wants to go there, so it's going to be harder for them. They're going to have to get their players out of the draft and out of trades.
And you know what else is funny is so they got the owner of the Golden Knights, Bill Foley. He announced that he's trying to get an NBA team, an NBA franchise to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we see, and this is just my opinion. I don't have anything really to back it. Either Memphis moving or New Orleans, unless he's
Yeah.
trying to
What?
get
Yeah.
unless he's trying to buy one and have it his. Didn't really break in. It just said he's launching a bid to bring an NBA franchise to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I also heard rumors of Minnesota might be moving to the East. If that happens,
oh,
if they bring Seattle back, I think Minnesota might move to the Eastern Conference as well.
okay. So there's a lot of could be a lot of
Yes,
movement.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of moving around, and from what I understand, they're not too happy about that.
No, I'm sure they're not. I'm sure.
Yep. There was also
Uh,
talks about cutting the games down, cutting like 15 games off of the regular season. What
okay,
the problem is players, they're all for the players are all for the game, all for the, cutting the games, but nobody want to release the pay. Nobody
right.
wants to cut the 15 games out of the pay. So I mean, if you if you don't want to play all those games, you're not going to get paid for all those games. It doesn't work, it doesn't work that way. Either you're going to play the games to get the money, or you're going to, if you want to play less games, you're going to make less money.
So what do you think that does for stats? I think it could be huge for stats.
Yes, because LeBron won't have anything to worry about if they do that. He won't have
No,
it, especially his scoring out. He wouldn't have anything to worry about with that. But it would solidify a lot of history numbers from back in the day because of the fact that the games will be shorter, so it'll be less. Um, one thing that um one thing that the NBA is not going to let happen again is Golden State with four top tier players on the team. I think the most you can have now is two, and then you're gonna have to build around it to try to make it fair for the whole league because they feel like that was an anomaly that it happened the way it happened, but
right.
the NBA is doing everything in their power to make sure that they don't have another Golden State like that with Steph and Clay and Katie and Draymond, where there's four stars like that. Nah, nah, that's not happening again.
Well, the NFL's done a pretty good job, I think, of trying to keep the NFL compatible and
Hmm.
um, that all the team, you know, what I mean, like it's the dominance of one. I mean, I know Kansas City owned a few, um, and then of course New England. But even in New England's, I mean, they in 20 years they won 6 championships, which is a lot.
Right.
But
Yeah.
there still was plenty other teams that were winning Super Bowls besides them, and it moved around with the draft choice. Now Washington has the number one pick uh, Tuesday for the NBA draft. And I remember when Trey got drafted over there,
Hmm.
I really think that they might be able to put together a little decent team, especially with the draft. Um, with him, they got a couple other guys that got some studs over there, and I think with some young talent around them, they could be a decent, they could be a decent team, maybe a playoff team. Um,
Hmm.
but we'll have to see what the draft unfolds.
Yeah. Because
But I
if I no, go ahead. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think Trey Young just signed a deal, just signed his deal, or he's working on his deal.
Right.
let me check because I get notifications throughout the day, and I think one of my notifications hit for that. Let me see.
I was surprised that only two,
Yeah, yeah,
he did sign.
yeah, Trey Young agrees to a 4-year deal to return to the Wizards. So yes, so Trey Young signed a he agreed to a 4-year, $212 million deal to return to the Wizards. So he's there to stay. So I guess they're gonna build around him.
So with Jalen Brown, he carries a big contract. Also, he's
Mm-hmm.
30 or somewhere near. So I mean, unless Milwaukee intended on, I don't know. Like I said, I would be interested to see what Milwaukee does.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't know. Milwaukee may just be again one of those teams that is happy just being in the playoffs, and maybe by them winning a championship was kind of kind of a freak thing.
yeah. It just that the stars aligned for them that season.
Yeah,
But they did have a great team.
they did.
They had great players around them, and they had some solid guys coming off the bench, like solid players. They hadn't went anywhere else, they would have started. But they had a solid team set up, and they just fumbled without. They should have kept that team together. They fumbled when they couldn't keep it together, and they didn't want to sign these guys. But that's the price you pay to win. You got to go all in, and you figure it out later.
So my question is, did they really want to? That's just another question. I mean, I sometimes with some of these organizations, I don't know. Again, they get the money, they get the
Hmm.
TV deal, everybody gets equal, um, in order to make it fair. So they're making money, and if they just basically playing a money ball kind of basketball, can have a decent team. But I always like we always talk about it's always really cool that smaller markets they won, Denver won. People are moving around. Um, New York won after almost 30 years, 40 years. 83, 93, 2000. Yeah, 40 some years. Um, so I mean, I do like how it's moving around. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody's got me because last year at the end of the year, I thought, wow, OKC could probably win two, three more, and that just didn't happen. You know what I mean? There was a lot of
Right.
competition. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, Boston looked pretty bad to the bone. 10 games before the end of the season. I mean, we were talking about them. Detroit was playing. You know what I mean? It was like Detroit
Yeah.
and the Knicks were in there. There was no doubt about it. It just there was a lot other. San Antonio put on a clinic going to the end of the season, going into the
Oh, did they?
playoffs. Uh, yeah, I mean they really did, and it just all kind of came to ahead when it came to the last series,
Hmm.
championship series. But I expect them to be back. I'm sure they'll be making moves. Someone had even thrown in, and again, these are all mock trades. Maybe Jalen Brown going to San Antonio with his experience wouldn't be a bad thing. It would be the
Oh, it
oldest
wouldn't be a
guy.
bad thing.
Um,
Yep.
still,
And I'm pretty sure if
yeah,
yeah,
still can play.
and I'm pretty sure they probably would get up off of De'Aaron Fox if Jalen Brown came. I'm pretty sure they'd probably let De'Aaron Fox go
Yeah,
because they feel like because
yeah,
Ron Harper's kid, he's ready. He's almost ready
yeah,
because I felt like he didn't play enough. And that's why when he got into the game late in the finals, you know, he didn't come through. But that comes from youth. But he has the talent. He has the talent to be a big addition with Wimby on the Spurs team. But San Antonio has their plan. They haven't failed as yet. They've have generated nothing but superstars. We can go all the way back from Antonio Robinson all the way up to Kawhi and even now Wemby. So they've always had, they've always developed great basketball players. And it's exciting to see how his career is going to end up, especially with the Spurs and with him being so young. And Wemby's got a young team around him, so they should be good. They should be good.
Yeah, they should be good for years to come. There's no, and I know the thing with Jalen Brown is he wants to be number one. He wants to be the number one, and
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
it. So wherever he goes, I mean, he should be a plus
Hmm.
wherever he goes. There's no doubt about it. I just try to wrap my head around him going to Milwaukee and what else are they gonna do, or is that
Yeah.
just that's
Yeah.
the
What type of
move?
team?
Um,
Yeah. What type of team are they going to build around him? Is the question. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. What are they going to build around? Okay, we got Jalen Brown. What are we going to build around him so that we can at least contend or be a threat in the East?
Has there been anything going on with any news on LeBron?
Well, right now they are still in negotiation with the Lakers. Most of the noise out in LA has been about Luca and putting pressure on the Lakers to get him a dominant center. But here lies the problem with that. To get the type of center you want, you're gonna have to take a cut and pay, which is not happening. And
Right.
what the Achilles heel is, you want to keep AR, with you. So it still lies the same problem. You got two people on the court at one time that is a liability on defense. And these teams know that. They know Luca doesn't play defense. So if you have a big man or not, you're going to be the Achilles heel to how everything works because, you lack on the defensive side of the ball and they're going to exploit that every time.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what like New York because they got some people they got to sign. It'll be interesting to see how they handle that and if they'll take less to keep winning because
Yeah,
Jalen
because
took less.
LeBron is that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not that
LeBron
he
is not
took.
taking a pay cut.
Yeah.
He's not going to do it. I feel like LeBron's not going to take a pay
No.
cut because he still feels
No.
that
And
he's
that's
top tier.
that's like right. I just don't see the Lakers the way what they have right now. I just don't see them making a serious run for a championship. I see them winning games. I see them making it to the
Yeah.
playoffs, but I just don't see. Yeah, I just don't see it. I mean, I think the powerhouses just take advantage of the poor defense. Um,
Hmm.
because that's one thing we saw with New York and San Antonio. We saw some defense. We
Yeah.
saw some top notch basketball. But I think when it comes to New York, I think New York is going to want to win another one, and I think everyone's
Hmm.
going to be on board about, hey, what can we do? If we take a little bit less, can we move some
Oh
money
yeah.
around? I
Oh
think they're
yeah.
very serious.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're. It's been a long time, and and for a long time, I was like, why isn't New York better? You know what I mean? Why
Yeah.
isn't?
Yeah.
Why, yeah, and it seems like they got the nucleus, they got the right coach, they got everything's kind of gelling for them. So I
Hmm.
think they're going to be a force next year because I think they are going to come up with the creative contracts, which is going to put them right back at the forefront. Um, Oklahoma should be back. Um, Boston will be back. Um, you know, Denver will be back. There'll be and there's Detroit. I'm sure they're licking their wounds, going, "Hey, man,
Oh yeah.
we got to, we want a mulligan on that. We definitely want a mulligan on that." And really, San Antonio's what they say they're a couple years ahead of the projection. Like they weren't really,
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
They're
Like
a couple of
they
years
got it
ahead of
all
the
broke.
game.
Yeah, yeah. they got it all broken down to what they're expecting and what year, um, and they're so really for them going to the finals, they didn't, that was ahead of what they projected. So
Mhm.
by them going to the finals, they definitely there was a lot learned. There were some lessons learned, good and bad. But I think they're so New Englandish. You know what I mean? They're going to be watching film and figuring out how we can get better.
Mhm.
Constant. They're going to be, like I said, a force.
Yeah, and Wemby just got to put just a little. Look, he's got to add a little bit more weight to him, Tony. I'm not
About 20
saying that
pounds.
he, yeah, I'm not saying he has to be Karl Malone because that's just gonna throw his whole dynamic out.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he does need to build some strength to deal with the cats and the Go
yeah,
Bears, just so that he can bump off and get a shot or things of that nature because he's a tall guy. And if you put
yeah.
somebody up on him to press him, since he's not that strong as far as like physical play,
Sure.
little guys can get the ball because the ball's got to travel a long way to the ground. So they can press him, get still, go down the court. So he's
I
gonna
to-
have to be, yeah. So he's gonna have to get a little weight on him so that he can back, so that he can use his body and back these guys down under the bucket to where he can protect the basketball.
yes, I totally agree. What do we got
Yeah, I
going in the
think, yeah.
NFL?
In the NFL, there's still the rumor pot is still warm about Aaron Donald coming out of retirement to join Miles
Yeah,
Garrett over in LA. I think they're just keeping the fire warm up under that. There's been nothing official yet, but they just got the iron on Brandon Ayuk is
yeah. They're trying to work out a.
putting
I saw.
yeah,
I saw that.
he's putting his campaign in to try to go to the Commanders and of course play with Jalen Daniels. If I'm understanding that they played in school before,
Right.
so he's
And
trying to get there. Um, the Titans defensive tackle Simmons, he agrees to a $105.8 million extension. Uh, and Jalen
and then you
Daniels yeah. Go ahead, sir.
what's I didn't mean to cut you off, but then there's the Colts. I heard were putting out there for their quarterback. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to see if they could get any money or anything for him. What's his name? Stevens?
You talking about Anthony Richardson?
Anthony Richardson. That's what I was
Yeah.
reading. That's what I was just reading because I had heard something about it, but I had um I I don't know. I just don't see anybody. I'm not saying nobody would take him. I just don't know what they would give for him after just lackluster performances.
Yeah, not
You
much
know what I
because
mean?
he has so much to learn about the NFL football. Well, the game of NFL,
Yeah.
well, the game because he shows flashes of man, he could
Yeah.
really be a great quarterback. But the injuries and lack of discipline, which I think has something to do with him being young and probably entitled, and you have to pull all that stuff off, and leave it all at the door because in the NFL, you're a rook. You don't know nothing. So you can't go in
Right.
there thinking that you're going to be praised and everything like you were in college. No. You got grown men in there that's been there for years and they know the ins and outs of the game. So he's a project. So he's going to have to go to a team where they can sit him down and just mold him into the quarterback that they want to be. Probably a San
Well,
Francisco or somewhere like that where he can sit down and sit
that may
down and
not be a
learn and
bad
work it out.
yeah, that may not be a bad spot for him to go and learn. I mean, that's not a, they could afford to, depending on the money for him, to teach him. You got to figure out how serious he is about the NFL, because
Right, right.
it just seems kind of lackadaisical. It's just kind of like, well, I was getting tired, so I had him take me out, and you're like, okay,
He was getting
and
tired.
yeah, and then just never seemed, like they brought other people in. I don't know, it just nothing ever seemed to really get him motivated. Um,
Right,
that I saw doesn't mean that I'm just saying what I saw. No, there was no urgency. You know what I mean? And
right, right.
you're going on your third or fourth year in the NFL. I mean, where are we
Sooner or
going?
later,
I
it's
mean,
got to click. Right. Sooner or later, it's got to click,
yeah,
especially when there's quarterbacks that came after you, lower in the drafting you, that are doing better than you in the league.
right.
So
And teams got a timeline. How long can we wait? How long can we afford to wait? Um, on his progress. Um,
hmm
so it like I said, it'll be very interesting to see what happens with him. But there's a bunch of people. Um, I mean, we still got a bunch of time before the season starts, but
yeah.
uh, I think we're gonna see. I think we will definitely see some crazy stuff going on in the NFL. People making moves, people trying to unload some money, making room. Um, they're what I understand, they're trying to rework Dak's deal because he's scheduled to make $60 or $65 million, which puts a
Oh yeah.
huge strain on their cap, what they can do. Um,
hmm
and I think, like I said, all we could do is sit back and check out what's going on. Um, hey, another little tidbit of some gambling: the overs in the over under game in the World Cup's been pretty good. You guys keep an eye on that.
yeah.
There's some action. There's definitely some action on some overs in the MLB. Stay tuned. Stay information, and you should do fine. All right,
hmm
guys, I want to thank everyone for tuning in every Tuesday night um, to the Sports Book, Big Lou, Tony G, and KM Radio. And we appreciate everybody. And again, if you can reach out to us, just reach out to us on Facebook, KM Radio or the Sports Book. If you have something you would like to talk about or need to get a hold of the station or talk to me or Lou, or leave us a DM, and we'll get back with you. All right, guys, again, thank you very much for tuning in every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Big Lou, Tony G on the Sports Book, the biggest station in the land. KM Radio, where we go ham.
Damn.
Boom. Cool.
All right.